Star Power Baseball coming at you from the Cincinnati Razorback Room. Welcome to another video by Dennis, Cincinnati Dennis. Got some pretty cool stuff to do today. Gonna talk about one of the sets of cards that comes in the 2025 game. It's an all-star team from 100 years ago. And we're going to work one of the sets, the American League set today. We're going to go through each player, talk about their numbers, how they were selected, what caused it to happen, and just kind of get into what the new cards look like and what they are like. We've shipped out some of the games already. Some of you guys already have this stuff, and you're going great. We love it. Some of you are getting them this week and the beginning of next week. And right now we're talking about September 11th. It's 9/11. And we love it that you guys are buying the games and that you're enjoying them. And we want to make you involved in how I'm doing this. So without any further ado, let me pull up a couple of cards here and we'll start the set with first base and Lou Gehrig. Now, if you look at this Lou Gehrig card, you can see that it's, what a great picture. I mean, the video now that we're using is far superior than all the cards that we've made in the past. It's excellent camera work. It's crystal clear. The response that we're getting from you guys is beyond belief. And so the picture of Lou looks really good. By the way, this is the last set of cards that will not have the player's rating for fielding over here and his number of respins over here. This is the final set of cards made in the old traditional fashion. And I thought that was fitting that it was a 100 year into the 2025 game. So let's just talk about the selection process. How did we pick Lou? I mean, Lou didn't have one of his greatest seasons at that time, but he did have the best season in the American League for first baseman. He batted .295 that year, 1925, .896 OPS. He struck out 49 times and walked 46, drove in 68, scored 73, and he was hitting in 25 in front of Ruth, who was down with the illness on 1925. So you can see that he's still a solid player, good defender, a 34 defense. That's a good defender. So that's why we picked Lou Gehrig. All right, let's go to the next player. And we're going to go to the second sacker, and that's Eddie Collins. And I'm going to pull him up here. And Eddie Collins in 1925 is in one of his final seasons. He's 38 years old. He's playing for the Chicago White Sox. And as you can see, the picture is great. That's pretty much a 38-year-old Eddie Collins. He's still getting on base a lot. His on-base percentage that year was, let me look here. Let's see here, 25. On-base percentage of .461 for the season. Go down that way. There we go. That's better. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. I've got Baseball Reference down on the bottom screen, and I'm looking at the pictures up on the top screen. So work with me here, guys. Okay. He stole 19 bases at age 38. He was definitely in decline. The year before, he led the league with 42. This year, he had 19. Still a great second baseman. He was the player manager that year for the White Sox, who did not fare extremely well. But he's still Eddie Collins. He still batted .346. He still had an OPS of .904. The guy still could play. Had they had an all-star game, he would have been the starting outfield or starting second baseman. This is his, by the way, all these cards, you can see that they have a red star, okay? You can see the red star here, all right? The red star indicates that it's player's current player, active. Well, these cards are all based on the stats through the 1925 season. So it's really like you're getting a 1925 Eddie Collins. Pretty cool, huh? I thought so. I thought it was pretty cool. Thought it was a good idea. And this looks pretty much like his lifetime card. It's a little bit uh, different because he's, I guess it's not. I mean, he's a 333 hitter, and he batted 333 on this card. So it's pretty much a lifetime Collins card. Excellent card, man. Look at that card. Excellent. The picture is great, too. Going to shortstop, we're going to go to Joe Sewell. Now, Joe Sewell played for the Cleveland Indians at the time. Let's see if we can find him. There we go. I found him. He's the one that took Ray Chapman's place. Ray Chapman's the guy who died. It's hard to find a really good picture of Joe Sewell. And so we had to go black and white. A lot of these players, you'll notice they're going to be in black and white. That's just the way that they're going to work. But look at this. In over 500 at-bats, I think this was probably Joe Sewell's, actually in over 600 at-bats. The guy had 608 at-bats, 699 plate appearances, and he struck out 4 times. Yeah, struck out 4 times. Man, he's a 13-point guy with 1 respin as his lifetime batting average at this time was 325. He walks quite a bit. He doesn't run real well. He wasn't a base stealer, but he was just a solid player. Now Joe Sewell, we put him as our shortstop. Let's go to third base now. And here's somebody that I don't know a whole lot about, okay? Sammy Hale, at this time, was on the Athletics. Okay, 1925. He's a member of the Philadelphia A's. He has a pretty decent year with an OPS plus of 124 and an OPS of 915. His career batting average high, 345 that season. He didn't, he's not a big power hitter, never was. As you can see, his one space up here, his home run space, is not that big. And he definitely wasn't a very good fielder. That year, in 1925, I thought that, let's see where it was. Yeah, he made 24 errors that season, which was among the league leaders at third base in only 96 games. So the dude is making an error pretty much every 4 games. He's kicking the ball around every 4 games. So not a great fielder, but a great offensive year. And that's why I put him in the infield for the starting lineup for the 25 American League All-Stars. Here's a guy that's 0 points. I mean, he doesn't get any respins. Now that year, he would have gotten 1. He had an OPS plus of 124. But his lifetime career, and I'll say this, 1925 was his career year. That was his best year. But he's in there, good card, look good too. All right, let's go to the next one, and this will start the catcher now. This is where we get a little bit dicey, okay? Mickey Cochrane is, I want to say that he's a rookie in 1925. And that is right. He's a rookie and caught 100 plus games, hit 6 homers, batted 331. So what you're getting here for 3 points, no respin, and 845 OPS. So there's a lot of hitting going on because 845 today in OPS would give you +1. But if you'll look at this, you'll see that Cochrane here has a really, really good card. A really good card. And he's a great catcher, a 5'4" catcher at age 22. Trying to find a picture of Mickey Cochran in color like this at age 22 is virtually impossible. Look at the strikeout on this. He only struck out 19 times that year. It's about a 14-degree strikeout. It's pretty good. You can see his 3 points. How young he looks, you know. He'd probably look younger if I could have found a better picture. Still, though, very, very good card. So you guys that are out there getting ready to get this, you got a solid team. Let's go to the outfield. First up, Ty Cobb. What can you say about Cobb? I mean, what can you say about him? Dude is Ty Cobb, man. Now, he's in his age 38 season just like Eddie Collins was. Same age. You can see the split grip on his bat right there. That's a pretty cool picture right there of Ty Cobb. And this is a little bit better than his lifetime average. Not a lot, a little bit. 366 to 369. Because in the next years, his age 39, 40, 41 season, then he goes into retire after that, he drops in batting average, yet never hits below 300. Now, this season was one of, actually, this age 38 season might be one of the greatest age 38 seasons in the history of the game. He hit 378. His speed's diminished. He only stole 13 bases, but he drove in 102 runs and scored 97 runs, playing for the third place Detroit Tigers. He was also the player manager of that team at that time, and leading him to a over 500 finish. The guy, this was one of his better seasons. OPS of 1.066 in that year. Batting average at 378 and slugged 468. 598. Well, on base percentage of 468. I mean, Cobb had a season, man. What a great year. He also that year hit 12 homers, which tied his career high, and he had 12 triples that year at age 38. Great season for Ty Cobb. Okay, moving on. Goose Goslin was just beginning to come into his own in this period right here. Let me plug him in. Okay, he played 21-38. Leon Goose Goslin. In 1925, he had his career high 20 triples, leading the league, batted .334 and slugged .547 with an OPS of 941. You can see here he's got a +1 respin on this card. Big, nice card. A 324 average, whereas lifetime average was 316. So he was right there, man. At age 24, he was just coming into his own. And what a great hitter he was for the Washington American League Senators. Goose Goslin. Whew, what a player. Had 20 triples that year, too, which was his career high. All right, moving right along, we're going to go to Harry Heilmann. Now, Heilmann, Ty Cobb called him the best hitter that he ever saw. And Harry Heilmann played from 1914 to 1932. So in 1925, he is right there in the prime of his career. He's 30 years old. 336 lifetime batting average at that time, and he got better in the next few years because he jumped up from 336 to 342. But in 1925, he hit 393 and drove in a league high 134 runs. Harry Heilmann was amazing in 1925. One of his best seasons. 13 homers, 40 doubles, scored 97, drove in 134. Great, great player. Okay, next on the outfield list, we have Al Simmons from the Athletics. Now, this was Bucketfoot Al, and this year was his second year, his age 23 season. So you can see a 349 lifetime average compared to what was his lifetime, 325, 334. So having a 349, you can see he's a little better. He's in his second year of major leagues, and he's playing every day. Hit 387 that year. 253 hits, led the major leagues in hits. Drove in 129 runs, scored 122 with 43 doubles and 24 homers. Tremendous year, Al Simmons. And he was playing center field for the Philadelphia Athletics. I wanted to say Oakland Athletics, soon to be Vegas, formerly Kansas City, and then Philadelphia. It's a franchise that's moved around once or twice. Simmons made that beautiful, beautiful transition to center field. Great ball player. Next on the list is Tris Speaker. Tris Speaker, the Silver Eagle, was playing for I want to say the Cleveland Indians at the time. Let me look here on his chart. In 1925, he was playing for the Cleveland Indians. He led the league in on-base percentage that season at 479. His lifetime batting average would finish at 345, but you can see here he's 5 points over. The next 3 years of his career, finishing out his career in age 38, 39, and 40, retiring the same time as Ty Cobb, as they both played for the Philadelphia Athletics in 1928. But Speaker, this was his last big hurrah. He hit 389, this is age 37. He hit 389. He got 35 doubles, drove in 87 runs. His speed's gone. Played a good center field, not a great center field. But here's a guy that's plus 2 respins, only struck out 12 times, which is the same number of homers that he had. Oh, it's on the card, too. There it is. Yeah. So really a great year for Tris Speaker. Now you've seen all of the, let's see, is there any more? No, they go, yeah, Ken Williams. Okay, we got some more players. Ken Williams played for the St. Louis Browns. Okay, and he started in his career in 1915, played through 1929, and this right here was one of his better seasons. It wasn't his best season, but it was one of his better seasons. Ken Williams was the first 30-30 guy, 30 homers, 30 steals, and he did that back in 1922. In 1925, his .613 slugging percentage led the league. Also, his .324 lifetime average right there peaked. It never got any, from that point on, it was all downhill. He was his age 35 season, and he would spend a couple more years with the Browns and then go over to the Red Sox. Great player, very underrated. The numbers aren't gaudy enough to be Hall of Fame. I mean, he didn't drive in 1,000 runs. He didn't hit 500 homers. He only hit 196. But the guy led the league in RBIs. He led the league in home runs once. And then, like I said, in 1925, he led the league in slugging. Great ball player. And that's a fun card to use. When you get a guy like this, a double respin guy, his career, as he progressed downward in his career, 36, 37, 38, 39 years old, he loses a respin. He loses a respin going forward. And it's a shame because his card right there, that's a 2 respin card, and that's a really, really good card. All right, let's move on to Al Wingo. Al Wingo. Let's see what we got about Al. Al Wingo played center and left. Okay, and Al Wingo only played 6 seasons, and one of those was just a part-time with 15 games, first year with the Athletics. Then he played for the Tigers. And in 1925, his age 27 season, the guy batted .370. Cobb, Heilman, and Wingo in the outfield for the Tigers in 1925. You got some guys that are hitting .383, .370, and .350. Big-time bats in that lineup. Now, Wingo only hit 5 homers, and as you can see by his small one space, he's not a big home run hitter. A lot of doubles though, and that year his double total was 34 doubles in only 525 plate appearances. You can see, guy's a doubles machine. He walks a lot also. He does walk a lot. OPS plus that season was 151. Yeah, 151. Whew. His 370 average was the low. Look at the stat. His 370 average, the lowest in the Tiger outfield in 1925. How'd you like to be the low man on the totem pole and hit 370? I think I'd take that every day of the week. And Al Wingo was that guy that year. All right, let's get over here and start into the pitching. Okay. And this is where it got dicey because 25 was Stan Coveleski. 1925 was a hitter's year. It was a definite hitter's year, without a doubt. Okay, what's happening here with Baseball Reference? Huh. Oh, it must be not having, well, let's just drop that out of there. Let's find Google. Let's take Google here and go to Baseball Reference on Google Chrome and see if we can find that. Oh, they're not letting me look at Stan Coveleski's. So we're just going to tell you he pitched really well that year. I can't look at his numbers for that season. It doesn't tell me why. 8-inning pitcher, +3, good card. I think he won 20 games that year. Led the AL and ERA that season. Let's go to the next guy. These pitchers were really difficult to choose. Hooks Doss is the next guy. 1925 was almost his last year. He was 16-11 with the Tigers, with an ERA of 3.16. It's good. 1925, he started 30 games, finished 16, 16-11. He only struck out 58 guys in 228 innings. So there you see the ground ball. A 3-point pitcher because he's a S8 with a good whip. Lifetime whip at that point, let's see here, it's 1.3. So he's good. He's a pretty solid pitcher right there. You can see the card, it's pretty good looking. I don't like how I did the H- and the W- together like that. I think I would space those out. If I were to do it again, I'd space them out a little better. Still a good looking card. All right, who's next? Sam Gray. I don't know what team he's on. I think he's in Athletics. Sam Gray, he's pitched from 24 to 33. He was on the Philadelphia Athletics. He was 27 years old. This was his second season. He was 16-8, ERA plus of 143. That was why he got the 3 respins there. 203 innings. Only gave up 11 homers. And you're pitching against Ruth and Gehrig. Pretty good. ERA that year at 3.27. And tragedy hits him that year. His wife dies, man. Married less than a year. And his wife calls it a day, man. And it's a good looking card too. That really gives you the picture of Sammy Gray there. So good card. All right. Go to Walter Johnson. And now we're looking at one of the greatest pitchers in the history of baseball. And we are right there at the tail end of his career. He's 37 years old. So we got Cobb and Speaker and Collins and Walter Johnson all in the twilights of their career, and Walter wins 20 ball games. A 3.07 ERA in the era where ERAs were in the 4s and 4.5s. He pitches 229 innings, wins 20 ball games. He strikes out 100 batters for like the millionth time. He still got it that year. In fact, he'd go on one more year to be good. This is not a great Walter Johnson year, but you pretty much have his lifetime card right there. You pretty much have it. He's an S8 TR plus 4 for his lifetime, for his career right there. S8 plus 4. He had won 397. He goes on to win 417. So he's just Walter Johnson, the big train, man. The last year that he won 20 games. This was it for him. How many shutouts did he have that year? He had 3 shutouts and he completed 16 out of 30. The guy still got it, man. Throws 16 complete games. And he's like Nolan Ryan. He's a fastball pitcher. All right, let's move on. We got Furpo Marbury. Now, those of you that know a lot about the game, the history, know that the Senators went to the World Series, Walter Johnson on that team, went to the World Series in 1925, and one of the big reasons was Furpo Marbury. Now, they didn't keep the save stats at that time, but Furpo finished 39 games for the Senators. He came in and finished. The guy in 1925 did not start a single game, which was rare in that day and age. Most of the pitchers would start some games and then relieve in some games. He, that season, was a complete and total relief specialist. He played in 55 games and only threw 93 innings. That's less than 2 innings an outing. Had 53 strikeouts, which is kind of 1 a game. That's what he would do. Walked 45 guys, so he does walk some people there. The guy was just a relief specialist in a day when relief specialists did not exist. So this is like your first guy that's this way, Furpo Marbury. And 2 years in a row, he was the relief specialist for the Washington Senators, and they went to the World Series both times. All right, who's next? Eddie Rommel. Okay. Eddie Rommel's a Philadelphia Athletic. And he has, this is his age 27 season, so he's in his prime. He wins 21 games, second most in his career. Okay. ERA of 3.69, which is like right about his average ERA, so it's average season there. He only gives up 10 home runs. Pitches 261 innings, faces more batters than anybody in the American League. Good solid season. A 21-game winner for Connie Mack. Not bad. This is a good card, puts him right in his prime. And you can see it's a 2 respin card. That's pretty cool, man. Now he does have a strikeout walk minus. That's an odd space, the KW minus. You don't see a lot of that. That's pretty cool. Put the ball in play. This is Eddie Rommel. This is soft contact. All right. So there you have it, guys. We'll go through the fronts of the cards here. I'll make them real nice and big. Let's see here. So you can see all of them. There you go. We're going to go through the fronts. We're going to go way back here. We'll go real quick back to all the beginning here. Okay, and then I am going to, let's see if I can make that just a hair smaller. Let's see. There you go. And I am going to disappear to the side over here and let you get a good look at all these cards. So you can see what you're getting in the brand new 2025 game. This is the set of the 1925 American League All-Stars. And let's just go through them. Gehrig at first. Collins at second. Joe Sewell, the shortstop. Sammy Hale at third. Mickey Cochran behind the plate. Cobb, Goslin, Heilman, Simmons, Speaker, Ken Williams, and Dow Wingo. in the outfield. What a great outfield. Their outfield's their strength. Stan Kovaleski, Hooks Doss, Sammy Gray, Walter Johnson, Firpo Marbury, and Eddie Rommel round out the team. So there you have it, guys. There you have the entire 1925 looking All-Stars. They're in your game. And if you have questions about it, or you think I did it wrong, put it in the comments down on the bottom. A lot of you are already subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, like the channel. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Cincinnati Dennis signing out. Once again, dice are nice, but the spin is in. Keep spinning Star Power Baseball.